Hello and welcome to Lovely English Stories. Thank you for stopping by. This story is for advanced English learners. Are you ready? Well, then let's get started. A very British winter. A C1 and above story with vocabulary explanations at the end. Winter in Britain never arrived with any great drama. It simply crept in, carried quietly on the damp air, settling over towns and cities like an old heavy blanket. By late November, people found themselves leaving home in the dark and returning in the same murky gloom, unsure if the sun had ever truly risen while they were at work. The morning commute became a familiar scene of shadowed streets, glistening pavements, and bundled figures hurrying towards bus stops or train platforms, clutching travel mugs as though they were lifelines. The cold was never the clear, sharp cold of storybooks. Instead, it sank into everything. Older houses, charming in summer, turned chilly and stubborn as the temperatures dropped. Radiators groaned to life, but struggled to push back the damp breath of the season. Windows gathered condensation that dripped steadily onto wooden sills. Even the air indoors felt slightly chilled around the edges. People padded from room to room in thick socks and oversized jumpers, learning which corners of their home were warmest and which were best avoided until spring. But for all its inconveniences, British winter brought its own quiet rhythm. People leaned into what they jokingly called hibernation, retreating earlier each evening as though darkness gently pushed them indoors. Kettles worked overtime, filling kitchens with steam and comfort. Slow cookers became treasured companions, bubbling away on countertops from mid-afternoon, filling houses with the smell of lentils, beef stews, and thick vegetable soups. There was something soothing about returning home, shrugging off a damp coat, and being greeted by warmth rising from a simmering pot. Weekends were often lost to this cosy retreat. Curtains stayed closed a little longer, and mornings unfolded slowly with tea, thick socks, and the hum of the heating. People took genuine pride in perfecting their winter staples. Whether it was a rich stew with root vegetables, a creamy parsnip soup, or a hearty cottage pie. Even those who claimed they disliked cooking found themselves stirring pots with a kind of quiet satisfaction. Outside, streets glowed softly under yellow lamplight, and rain streaked window panes in unpredictable patterns. People complained endlessly about the weather, yet there was an unspoken fondness beneath it all. The shared discomfort provided a strange sort of solidarity. Strangers on trains exchanged knowing looks when yet another wet morning arrived, their coats dripping gently onto the floor. Conversations at work inevitably began with comments about wind, drizzle, or how freezing a particular office room had become. And then there was the television. Winter viewing was practically a national sport. Families and friends gathered under blankets to watch popular shows that became cultural touchstones, discussed at length in offices and online. Whether it was the latest gritty drama, a baking competition, or a comforting sitcom, these programs offered something steady and communal when everything outside felt unpredictable. Evenings were often planned around them, bowls of hot food balanced on laps, the cold held firmly at bay for an hour or two. In the end, Brits coped with winter not by fighting it, but by adapting to its slow, persistent presence. Through warm bowls of food, shared moans about the weather, and small rituals of comfort, the season became something to endure together. And somehow, in that shared endurance, it became bearable. What's the winter like in your country? We'd love to know. Please comment below and tell us. Now, we're going to go through some of the vocabulary from this story. Please comment below if there's anything we didn't explain, or if there's something that we pronounce or say that you don't quite understand, and we'll reply and be able to help. So, let's start with bearable. If something is bearable, it is manageable or able to be tolerated. For example, the cold felt bearable. Bubbling, to bubble, means to boil gently with small rising bubbles. The stew was bubbling in the slow cooker. Bundled, or to bundle, means to be wrapped up in many layers of clothing. She bundled herself in a scarf before leaving for work. Communal. This means shared by a group of people. For example, watching winter TV shows felt like a communal activity, something you do together. Condensation. This happens a lot and it's already started this winter. And that's tiny water droplets that are formed on cold surfaces, often on windows. Condensation collected on the windows every morning. So you have to wipe it off with a tissue or a towel, or you can get damp in your house. Clutching or to clutch means to hold something tightly. He walked to the train clutching a hot coffee. Commute. The commute is the journey to and from work. Her commute was always dark during winter. Discomfort. Discomfort is a feeling of slight pain or unease. The damp rooms caused discomfort. Inconveniences. Inconveniences are small problems that make life a little bit harder. So winter brought inconveniences, like cold bedrooms and wet shoes and socks. Inevitably means happening for sure and impossible to avoid. It's inevitable. The buses were inevitably late on rainy mornings. They're always late when it rains. Solidarity. Solidarity. That means unity or support between people. There was a sense of solidarity among commuters. Unfolded or to unfold means to happen or develop gradually. Their quiet winter weekends unfolded around warm food and cosy TV. Fondness. This is a gentle liking or affection for something or someone. Despite the rain, she felt a fondness for winter evenings. Glistening or to glisten means to shine softly with reflected light. The pavements were glistening after the drizzle. Gloom. Gloom means darkness or sadness. They walked home through the early evening gloom. Gritty. Gritty means tough, realistic, or full of struggle. They watched a gritty drama together every Sunday. Hibernation. Hibernation is a period of staying inside and doing very little. Most families slipped into hibernation once winter arrived, and certain animals hibernate in the winter, so they go somewhere to sleep for the winter months. Murky. If something is murky, it is dark, unclear, or gloomy. The sky stayed murky for most of the morning. Streaked. If something is streaked, it is marked with lines or smears. Rain streaked the windows as they cooked dinner. Touchstones. These are things people rely on or refer back to. Winter TV favourites became weekly touchstones for many households. Unspoken. If something is unspoken, it is understood without needing to be said. There was an unspoken agreement that they would stay indoors tonight. Endurance. Endurance is the ability to keep going, even if something is really difficult, through hardship. Winter commuting felt like a real test of endurance. Glowed or to glow means to have shone or to shine softly with light. The street lamps glowed in the foggy evening air. Groaned or to groan means to make a low noise of effort or strain. The radiators groaned as they warmed up. Hum is a low, steady sound, a hum. Hum. The hum of the heating filled the quiet room. Moans. These are complaints or expressions of irritation. The office was full of moans of people moaning about the cold weather. Persistent means to continue for a long time without stopping. The rain was persistent. It didn't stop. We hope you enjoyed this lovely English advanced story. Thank you for stopping by. And don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And please do tell us in the comments below what the winter season is like in your country. Perhaps you live somewhere where it's really warm. We'd love to hear about it. And if you'd like to become a lovely English supporter, click join in the box below. See you soon!